What up, IDS Mob? I'm HarryWilmington, and today I'll be answering a question from an introverted guy whose girlfriend has a problem with him wanting alone time, in spite of how often they already hang out with each other. Here's his question. He says, "This is my first serious relationship, and I really love this person, but I feel like she always asks so much of my time, and I can never say no. Last week, I spent basically every night with her after work. I really appreciate this time with her and I value it, but she considers these pity crumbs that I give to her to keep her happy. I disagree. I make an effort to go see her and I feel like we have fun because we make an effort to organize dinners, nights out, or game nights. And often comes the weekend and I want to spend time alone, often just a day because I feel socially drained. She hates that I do that. She tells me, you prefer reading a book and doing laundry more than spending time with me. I feel like I have always been open with my introversion, but she takes it like a personal attack, like I don't want to be with her. How do I deal with my introversion with someone like this?" Well, first off, congrats on your first real relationship. I know as an introvert that it can be a drain on your energy to force yourself to go out there and meet new people to date. So the fact that you were able to do it is something worth celebrating. Now, that said, there is a problem that can often arise when you're new to having a partner, which is that now that you have someone in your life, you don't want to do anything to risk losing them, including confronting them about something that's bothering you. Why? Because there's always a risk that bringing something unsettling to your partner could result in a fight, and fights can lead to breakups. At least that's what you're probably thinking right now. You don't want this woman to break up with you, so you're probably doing a lot of things right now that you don't actually want to do, including spending a ridiculous amount of time with her. On average, seeing your partner 2 to 3 times a week is pretty normal, even if you've been with them for quite some time. So seeing them 7 days a week, and it's a relatively new relationship, that's not usually how these things go. Anyway, the point is you can't be afraid of letting your partner know what things you need in a relationship in order to make it work. You're an introvert and you need your alone time. Heck, even extroverts need time to themselves every so often. So wanting her to respect this need is something you have to bring up with her. Now, here's the thing. Right now, it looks like you may be dealing with a woman who has both low self-esteem and is possibly emotionally manipulative. Now, why do I say this? Well, let's look at the 2 responses you put here. In the first one, you said that despite all the time you give her, she considers these pity crumbs or petty crumbs. I don't know, you kind of spelled it weird, but either way, it's crumbs that you give to her to keep her happy. That's what she said. Now, this indicates a person who isn't really happy with themselves for whatever reason and is relying on you and your presence to keep her happy. And I'll tell you right now, pal, you can do all the right things in the world and see her 8 days out the week, 25 hours a day, in the hopes that you being around her will keep her spirits up. Trust me, tried it, let me tell you. Those kinds of people, if they're not internally happy about their lives or confident in themselves, will never be completely happy. And in fact, over time, they'll also start to see you in a negative light and possibly start blaming some of their unhappiness on you as well. So when you hear a woman say stuff like this, it should definitely put up a red flag. The other comment is where she said to you, quote, "You prefer reading a book and doing laundry more than spending time with me." Now, this is an emotionally manipulative tactic because her response to a need you're expressing is to turn it around and make it about her. And she's making the thing that you want seem like a toxic request. Also, let's be real. She's probably dated men in the past who would fall for these tactics. Why? Because as strong as we like to think we are, most men get weak around women, especially if they're being told that the thing they're doing is hurting their feelings, because as men, we like to think of ourselves as the heroes in our women's lives. We don't want to hurt them, even unintentionally. So if we hear that something we're doing is making them feel hurt, our natural instinct is to stop doing that thing so they'll be pleased. But here's the thing. Feelings aren't truth. And just because something you're doing is displeasing to a woman doesn't mean it's a bad thing to be doing, nor does it change the truth about what you need to best function in a relationship. Now, I want to make something clear. This does not mean that a woman is never wrong in her request to you about things she'd like you to change. So if there's something that's actually harmful or toxic to the relationship, those are things that should definitely be discussed and worked on. But that said, too many men make too many concessions about themselves and what's comfortable for them simply not to hurt a woman's feelings. And sometimes in trying to set boundaries with a woman, you will hurt her feelings. And when it happens, you will feel bad. But if you have something that you strongly need in a relationship, then you have to risk hurting her feelings to establish that boundary. The good news, I have found that more often than not, if you defend a boundary you have enough times and they can see how serious you are about it, then they'll usually come around. That doesn't necessarily mean that they'll like it, but it does mean she'll respect you enough to understand the need you have and not bug you so much about it. True story. And I think I've mentioned this before on this show that I do clinical trials from time to time. And honestly, it's because it's good money. It's something that I just like doing. And plus, honestly, it's a great way to get a week's worth of alone time. So just so you guys know. But anyway, in almost every relationship that I've been in, the women I've dated have hated that I do them. Has this stopped me from participating in the clinical trials? Of course not. It's something I like doing. And just because a woman that I'm dating expresses concerns about it doesn't mean that I'd stop doing them. I'm open to having discussions about them and giving them more insight into what they are so they know a little bit more and feel more comfortable. But in terms of them getting me to no longer do them, my answer has always been, this is something that I enjoy. And so even if you don't like them, I'm still going to do them. And so the same is true with you and your alone time. You need your alone time, and it's important to you. So in terms of how to deal with it, well, first, try to have a conversation with them about why it's important to you. And then if they're still not satisfied with you wanting it, so what? Do it anyway. Will she try to probably fight you on it? Most likely, but at some point, you have to learn to stand up for yourself and not care what the other person is saying to you. If it's blocking a need that you have to be willing to risk the relationship and do what's best for you. Because if you don't, what'll happen is you'll end up building resentment towards her, and it's not gonna work out anyway. Plus, I've found that the earlier in the relationship that you can get her comfortable with the idea of you needing your alone time, the easier it will be in the future to get it without all the added drama. Again, she may not like it, but she will get used to it. Anyway, hopefully this helps you out, Guy. And for the rest of you, if you have a question you'd like me to answer on one of these shows, leave a comment below the YouTube video at youtube.com/HarryWilmington or write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com. You can also go to introvertdatingsuccess.com and apply for my Introvert Dating Success Academy, as well as one-on-one coaching. And if you'd like to support my work, go to the website and click on the tip jar tab to send a monetary thank you. That's all for now. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I will see y'all on the next show. I'm out. Peace.